everyone, and welcome to Tuesday at Tiki Hut Studios. I'm Ken Rose, and we are here with the Joe Knows Show, and my host, or co-host.
Hey, everybody. This is your friend, Ken Rose, and Lisa, too. How are you? This is the Joe Knows, the podcast.
Everybody.
For now, Joe Knows the podcast. Are we recording? Did that?
Oh, because Lisa switched cameras, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was just saying hi.
Lisa wanted to get her mug on the TV.
We've been struggling with tech for a couple of weeks, so
Oh.
trying to
No,
make
good. I
sure
was
we're
waiting.
all
Say hi.
on. All right.
We're live.
It is the Joe Knows the podcast for now.
Correct.
Ken and I have made a decision. One decision, not
a lot of decisions.
Not a lot of
'cause
decisions.
It's a lot for any of us to make a decision.
That's right. We want to be the source for Lake County to come, for South Lake County to come to find out. Actually, we want to be the source for Florida to come
Yes.
to find out what's going on here for
Yes.
people across the world. But we're going to start in our own little community. So we are going to have a new name. We're not quite sure what it is. We've bandied about a couple of things.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. But keep on watching. We appreciate you. And one thing we want to ask in this thing that we've decided to do is we want to ask you that if you listen to us on the podcast, follow us.
Follow us, damn it.
Follow us. And if you're watching on YouTube, you should subscribe because at some point should they be subscribing to Tiki Hut or are we going to have a new one?
Well,
have a new page?
We have a lot going on, and I think because our season's winding down, so we're gonna get together and kind of streamline what we do so that we have one platform, one location for you to go to instead of sending you all over the globe. So I think that's what we're gonna work on and make it a better show. And
So you're gonna hear us ask. We're gonna try to get better, not just at what we do here.
well, we're already good.
We're already good. We're always striving to get better, but we're going to get better at our social side.
Yes.
And probably reach out to our friends, Jackie Peterson and others we know who know a little bit about social media. And
Yep.
don't be surprised if you start getting emails from us. We promise not to spam you, just to let you know what we're doing. Okay?
So that's our plan, and we're also talking about doing like one of our segments on what's happening in South
That's
Lake
right.
this week. So you definitely want to tune in because we'll be the go-to for what's going on.
Right.
So,
Right.
Where are you guys at today?
we're in beautiful Key Biscayne. Behind us, the waves are cracking, the sun's out,
And it's a hot one today, so I'm taking my shirt off.
Thank God Joe's Speedo is below the table so you can't see it. But damn, it's gonna be a nice day here.
It's going to be a nice day.
And Lisa's slaving away in the office.
As always.
That's how it is.
I'm always stuck here.
So is there anything going on in Lake County that we know of this week?
There's some big stuff going on.
What's going on
this
in Lake
week.
County this week?
Might be a big birthday
There's a
party.
massive event at the Tiki Hut Central. It's a private affair.
Private. I was going to say that's security is going to be tough on that.
Security's tough.
You got to make sure you're on the list. I'm sure we're going to see people like Ivanka and Donald, and we're going to see Brad and
Our
maybe-
security is called Bella, Razor, and Bear.
Security will be tight at the hut because we do have we've got some live music by Groove Infusion. We've got some catering from Ellie Lou's.
If
Other
you
than me-
if you didn't get an invite, please don't be offended. We only have so much room in our house and the parking outside.
Yes.
We-
Yeah.
Invite all.
Our snacky snacks.
Dude, without snacky snacks, I had 3 of those muffins this morning.
Oh, those are nothing. What flavors we got coming in
Oh,
for
God.
to the hut?
So we have a chocolate peanut butter one. We have
Right.
one called Elvis that's chocolate banana
Oh,
flavor.
man.
Right.
We have an ebony and ivory. We have a key lime, strawberry.
Wow, you guys went
Red
all
velvet.
out. Most people
Red
have
velvet,
3 flavors.
salted caramel.
Salted caramel cupcakes.
Yeah, we have 8 different flavors.
What did you get? Every flavor they have?
Yeah,
It's kinda
yeah.
Not every flavor.
Yeah, we got a bunch of cupcakes.
When,
They're so
when I
good.
was a kid, there was an ice cream. But one of the last few ice cream parlors in my little town of Concord, New Hampshire, I think I was 12 or 13, me on the edge of being almost too old for this. And my mom threw me a birthday party there. And the thing that this place was known for was a kitchen sink sundae, and they had 108 flavors. And the kitchen sink sundae was literally in a thing that was like this big, had a scoop of every ice cream, every topping, every single syrup. Oh my God. And of course, they put it in the middle of a table,
right?
With 15 little kids, with a spoon.
That's when you'd have to take your pants off before you eat. By the way,
that was when I was young enough to not have to take my pants off when I overate.
I want to make this clear, Joe. No Speedos on Saturday. No Speedos.
Now, see, why you got to rain on my... What a buzzkill, man.
You better keep your foot away, too.
My Speedo will be kept away, too. It only comes out when nobody else is home.
I was watching this old movie, and it was like an old... I love those little things on TCM between the movies where you see like the short that used to be the little, the newsreels. Mm-hmm. And they were doing this thing about Hawaii. And they were showing and it was like from 1932, and they were showing the lifeguards. But everybody, not just the lifeguards, everybody that was on the beach the men were all wearing these suits that like literally came up to here.
The one pieces.
Yeah, but that's what men used to wear.
Right. Boy.
I got to wondering, when did that change? Had to be World War II.
Yeah, well, probably,
had to be guys.
When did the bikini come out?
Well, the bikini's been around for like 120 years. It's only been popular in the U.S. since... Well, two-piece bathing suits have been popular in the U.S. since the late 30s, early 40s for women.
Okay.
The bikini itself was something that was more 50s and brought on by beach blanket bingo and
so maybe that's where swimsuits started getting smaller.
Well, I think that's where women's swimsuits started getting smaller. But I think the men thing is probably because these guys, they didn't wear swimsuits when they were in the service. They went, they go off the side of the ship or they go in the ocean. They would just, I'm sure they did a lot of commando, but they're wearing boxers. When I got in the Marine Corps, I was actually surprised. We were required at boot camp. We were required to wear boxers. Like they didn't care what your preference was. They issued that to you.
Boxers.
That's what you were going to wear.
I can understand.
And that apparently has a long tradition for some reason.
I guess. Now you get a women's swimsuit that's about the size of this soda cap, and it's like $200.
It's a string.
There you go.
And I'm trying to help Patty buy a bathing suit the other day, and as much as I was enjoying it, she was hating it because, she's not a size 2, and it's hard to find something.
Very few people are that small.
I know, and what's crazy is it's still hard for her to find something that fits all the parts.
All the parts, yeah. Women have a rough time because. Either they're too big on top or too big on, you just can't buy a set.
Yeah, they're not all the same. The
what do they call them?
Well, you can mix and match.
Well, that's what I mean. But years ago, you couldn't do that. But now you can buy a different size top from a bottom.
The coordinates or whatever you
call it. And the big struggle now is with supply chain issues. And it's June, so you're trying to buy. She can't find anything in her size, or she can't find anything in her size that is something she wouldn't be embarrassed to wear because of the pattern or the color. I mean, you walk through some of these guys, and you go, old lady, old lady, old lady, old lady.
It's one of those things, Joe. I recently I switched my swimsuits.
Oh, did you?
I switched them to a company called Toucan because a lot of the board shorts, when they get wet, they get so long that they hit your knees or they're below your knees. Yeah. And I'm like, and it's always just so cold and everything. And so I found this company that makes, I guess they're about the size of boxers, I would say. But they're, but they're.
They still have like a mesh or something.
Yeah, and they're elastic, but they're just so much nicer because they're not hanging below your knees. Because I think every board shorts is built for like a guy that's like 6'4".
Yeah, I'm a fan of board. I mean, the Speedo joking
and you don't want that kind of tan line way down there.
Yeah.
He's tan everywhere else. He doesn't.
Well, I tan in my Speedo, so that's not.
Right.
Well, yeah.
If everyone see Joe Rotisserie, swing by his house. Patty's turning him over.
I'm a fan of the board shorts. And actually, I was quite psyched when, because I am a big guy.
Right, you want
I'm fat, and
big bones.
Big bones. When I discovered when the trend moved towards board shorts or things like that, I was grateful. I was like, I can go to the beach and not be like completely embarrassed, you know. But I was just speaking of being fat.
Oh God.
Many of you that are close to me know that I've been struggling with a hip injury for about 12 weeks, and I'm going through my. I was trying to go through the VA. I'd never gone to the VA for healthcare before, and I figured, well, you know, I thought it was like a little running thing, but it kept hurting. So I let a week go by, and then I called up the VA for an appointment. That took a while to get in. I went in for that, and they told me I needed an X-ray, and they didn't do them right there, so I had to like go all the way to Lake Nona to get an X-ray, which is, I mean, the process of the X-ray itself was okay, but you know, you're an hour and 15 minutes in each direction, parking and, you know, waiting your turn because they don't make appointments, so you just got to like show up and wait your turn. Got that. Then it took them like 2 weeks to get me a follow-up appointment. At the follow-up appointment, they couldn't tell me what was wrong, and so we had an MRI. Well, it took me 5 weeks to get the MRI. And in the whole time, I'm still in a lot of pain, right? My leg is locking up, and I can't put weight on it sometimes. I can't sleep. I can't sit. I can barely stand for more than 10 minutes. So I finally get this MRI. In the meantime, I just can't take it anymore. I go to a follow-up appointment of my primary care, private insurance guy, right? Private health care. Guy I've loved for a couple of years, actually, since I discovered him. He's primary care. And so he looks at my hip, and he touches the hip and asks me about the thing, tries to rotate my leg a little bit. And he's like, oh, you have bursitis, and we need to get you to an orthopedist right now. I'm like, well, okay, give me the referral, and, you know, they'll get me in 3 or 4 weeks. He's like, no. No, these people will call you. Literally, before I got to the car, I set my next appointment with this guy for 4 months. You know how follow-up your primary care is?
Forever.
I'm not in my car. The orthopedist was calling me to set the appointment for 2 days later.
Must be a slow time of year for them.
Yeah. So actually, it was just before Memorial Day, and the girl was like, I can't believe this. We have all day on Friday open. She called me the next day, and she was like, oh, I forgot. It's the weekend before Memorial Day. We don't have the doctors that day. But she still got me in like on Wednesday. So I go in. Guy takes an X-ray. He looks at the X-ray, and he's like, this is the problem. He says, you have this rare kind of arthritis, usually presents in, you know, athletes that are in their 20s and 30s. And of course, I heard I have the body of a
20 or 30 years old
athlete.
He's like, yeah.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Joe will be competing in the Ironman triathlon in 2 weeks.
So here's the thing. I mean, my whole appointment with the orthopedist was really cool. Good guy, up at the Florida Sports Medicine.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, up by the NTC. So anyways, they tell me that I'm going to need, they gave me a great prescription that's giving me some range of motion. I'm not limping everywhere, which means my back isn't all jacked up. They told me that, unfortunately, I'm either going to need some sort of cortisone in my hip. And he showed me right on it what the problem is and explained it all. So he said, maybe physical therapy, but he said, you know, Mr. Carlisle, he says, if this doesn't work, you're going to need a hip replacement. I said, well, I'm a little young for a hip replacement. And he says, well, you know those guys in their 20s and 30s? Yeah, I replace their hips when they get this. So I was like, wow, I'm bumming. I get home from that appointment, and I have a letter from my primary care at the VA that says they got my MRI. They're going to refer me to orthopedics. 2 days later, I get this letter. Now, they never call me for an appointment. This letter, I got to read this to you. It's practically funny. If it wasn't true, it would be funny. Dear Joseph S. Carlisle Jr., orthopedic surgeon review your consult for hip pain. Go-to for hip pain is your body mass index should be less than 36. Your current body mass index is 39.82. Recommend you work on weight loss to decrease your body mass. If you are interested, then your primary care doctor can refer you to a weight loss program. And I'm like, You never saw me. You never took my weight. You didn't like put me in a tank to figure out if that
They're making
was
stuff up.
You know, I mean, how do you know?
Wow.
Your government chart said the average guy who's that weight. I just couldn't believe this.
That's hilarious.
Anyways, we'll talk more about this when we get back and the incredibleness of government-funded healthcare. Look, we're up on a hard break. We'll see you in a minute. We're going to hear from our sponsors. Don't go away. We got more coming.
At Minuteman Press, we believe in building relationships, treating people with respect, and we take real pride in helping people build their own brands. We create, we design, we print, and we promote. We laugh, we enjoy. We are friends and family. We are thankful for your trust and the opportunity to build with you. We are modern, we are knowledgeable, and we are inspired. We are growing. Contact your local Minuteman Press today to say hello and see how we can help your business. Together, let's build our relationship.
Okay, welcome back. Love hearing from our sponsors. Look, if you're interested in being one of our sponsors, simply reach out to Ken or I. Look, I'm not even going to give you the contact information. You should know it by now.
Yeah,
you all know.
If you're watching the show, you know where to find us.
I mean, Google it, man.
If somebody wanted to kill me, they can find me in
right.
45 seconds.
Yeah.
You know where I am.
Somebody want to kill me, they can find me in 45 seconds. However, then they'd actually have to do it.
Right.
Finding me is not the problem.
And now that Joe's hip is okay for the moment, he can run.
Run? No, Joe doesn't run.
Zigzag away.
No, your best outcome in that situation is I run.
Oh, I gotta tell you. We saw Maverick this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow, that was terrific.
So good.
That was great.
Oh my gosh.
Thank God I'm going to be 58. Otherwise, I would sign up for the Navy. But let's fly, baby.
And
I'm claustrophobic now, so that doesn't help either.
Weekend before, my kids, two of my boys came to town. We went out to see it, but I had that head cold so bad. Mm-hmm. It was like Friday. I was on so much cold medicine. I remembered I liked the movie. I can't remember it really.
Oh my gosh.
I can remember pieces. I don't remember it linear fashion. When did that happen?
I would see it again.
Yeah, it was really good. I think what made it better was because this time the Navy wanted to be a part of it.
Right.
Because the first time, oh no, we don't want that. And then there was a line.
Yeah, the first one was
of young
on
men
recently,
joining.
and I told him, I'm like, I don't remember it being so cheesy looking. It was so fake.
Because the Navy wouldn't give them any footage.
Yeah.
And this one was so realistic.
Well, because when Top Gun, the original, came out, the Navy saw a tremendous boost in enlistees.
Yeah, so it took them 40 years to learn their lesson.
Yeah. We got to get in on this next one.
Of course, the production company also didn't have $11,000 an hour for that.
Correct. But that's the best, marketing material that the Navy has.
Yeah.
Although
I actually heard on the news, saw this little piece of news this morning that Top Gun was actually inspired by the script was inspired by an article somewhere. And apparently the movie company never got the rights to the article.
Right, somebody's suing somebody.
So the family is suing the widow and son is suing Paramount or whoever made it.
Yeah, Paramount
for the
God.
Because and I'll tell you, usually I'm not one that's like down with those suits, but I'm like, hey, this was a veteran man. How much would those rights have cost you? Nothing. Probably less than the 11,000 hours you spent.
Yeah.
To put Tom Cruise in a cockpit. Do you know what I thought was cool about that? I also heard that that they set all these rules, and rule number 1 is Tom Cruise does not touch anything.
Oh, really? He's that dangerous.
Well, they're up in the air going all in.
Right.
It was
great.
I heard that Tom made every one of the actors, or the main actors, all fly in one so they can see what it felt like, and they were all puking.
Yeah, well,
sure. You really have to have a cast iron gut to...
Well, I think that's more, it's funny.
I would black out.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons that, so many guys wash out of, guys and girls wash out of flight school is because they can't handle those physical trials.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine
Jeez.
going from now to 5Gs.
Just like
Right? So they,
Instant.
And it's a long speed.
It
It's
is.
not like a
It
quick
is.
shot out of a roller coaster. It's like 5Gs for a while.
yeah.
7,
Do you
I
know-
don't even do well on roller coasters.
I saw the coolest old movie. It was actually about the of course, Hollywood of the 40s and 50s. It was the 40s, about how they developed the pressure suits these guys wore to go above like 6,000 feet.
Oh, wow.
Like, because they black out because of lack of oxygen,
Right.
and giving them oxygen wasn't quite enough. They'd still black out when they dived or they went up or something like that. And it's really, so when I see a movie like Top Gun, I'm like, you never think about the fact that they had to develop a suit. Those suits are not just an overall. They like put pressure on the legs and the stomach so that guys don't black out, so that they can handle those things. I mean, can you imagine how much money and time we don't even think anymore about, there was a day when a test pilot, it was a 50-50 roll of the dice every time. And these guys still did it.
Sure.
Talk about being an adrenaline junkie.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. I'd rather sit here behind a microphone.
Where it's safe.
I will tell you though, as a guy who's been on the ground, there's nothing prettier than seeing a jet. Well, that's yours.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
from your
sure.
team.
From your team. Well,
Got a big red star on it. You better panic.
Now, when I was in, there was no question about who was going to own the skies.
Right.
I mean, it was funny that even the Soviet Union, everybody knew the Soviet Union couldn't match us in the air. Maybe plane to plane, individual dogfight, but in general, Soviet Union was not going to match in the air. They were going to get wiped off the map, right? Which is why they had nuclear weapons.
Well, sure.
So there's nothing prettier than you're sitting there, you've been getting shelled, and you hear it. You hear it coming. And we were fighting like Syria and other places, so you knew they didn't have to. You'd hear propeller blades if it was them.
Now, have you ever jumped out of a plane? Just like for fun, or
No,
in
not
combat,
for fun, no.
or in combat, or
Fun.
I've never done the skydiving parachute thing, but I've jumped out of several helicopters.
Oh, yeah?
They train you, at least back then, the 100 feet.
Oh,
you
right,
get
right.
down and, what they never tell you, because you see it in the movies, and then the thing is, every now and then that line gets fouled up.
right.
And you're stuck halfway. And the danger of that is a helicopter's blades
Right.
is creating static electricity. Now, we think of static electricity as my hair standing
Right.
up, putting a balloon, but static electricity will kill you.
Right.
When they bring in supplies,
Mhm.
they have this big cable they throw out first. And that cable, the only purpose of that cable is to ground the static electricity that the helicopter generates in the air. So that when they land, they don't electrocute everybody.
That would be good. That would be very
Bummer, man. What was he doing? Well,
good.
he got fried.
almost
He
made
touched
it.
the wall. He got fried.
Almost made it.
I would tell you the only thing that maybe is prettier is when I was in the Marine Corps, they had just in the 80s had put the battleships back into service, right? So in World War II, they kind of got mothballed. And in the 80s, they figured out, hey, we got these big old ships that are pretty darn powerful. Maybe we can use them again. Give them a refit, put them out there. And I will tell you, I specifically remember one night that we were particularly under fire. And it was bad. And you just heard off in the distance, pull, pull, pull. You were like, what is that? And you heard the screaming. You looked up and you saw this shell the size of a Volkswagen come from where the battleships were, headed towards where the bad guys were.
Oh, boy.
And it was weird because it was like slow. It's like these things come out of the thing, but when you're sitting there and they're just arcing through the air, they just put a Volkswagen into the sky to travel like a mile, and you're like, wow.
Why are we on the ground? We got this big stuff. Let's get this stuff going.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
That was many times. And the young sergeants asked young SS New Jersey on call.
Can't we just fire stuff?
Let's call them and reduce the level of the hill by about 40 feet.
You would think.
You would think.
If I were running the show, that's how it would be.
Yeah, well, young lieutenants are known for being dumb.
Have you seen the Blue Angels before?
I have. I have seen the Blue Angels.
That brings a tear to my eye every time.
Although, beautiful. You know what I'm probably a bigger fan of is when you see these, of course you don't see them much anymore, but when I was younger, you would see the old World War II planes, pilots, with like the formations and stuff. Have you ever seen a reenactment of a dogfight?
No.
They're not real popular in today's woke world.
Sun and Fun, they did one
before
it started. Yeah. That was incredible.
Air shows have changed a little bit.
It was so cool.
Yeah. It's really, because again, it's like, these things aren't moving at supersonic speeds.
No.
So, my wife, I saw a movie, I think it was in the middle of the night. I just caught a clip of this great movie called In Which We Serve. English movie made in World War II. But there's a scene in it where this captain of a ship is home visiting his family in England. And they're out in the country just trying to have a regular day. And they're sitting there looking up at a major battle in the sky. And I thought, we really don't appreciate how good we have it, right? We see the Ukraine on the TV, and there really is and I've noticed actually the Ukraine has kind of slipped out of the news cycle, right? I mean, we were hearing about it every day, but these guys are still fighting for their lives, right?
Yeah, it's like we move on.
Yes, it was okay. That accident's over.
Right, now it's all about the Queen of England.
That's right.
Well, then it was the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial.
Right.
Yeah, because Johnny and Amber were terribly important.
More static electricity in the.
We need a cable from news.
It's unbelievable. It's everything but what's important.
Well, and as much as I hate to get political, not really. I gotta say, I just, the stuff coming out of the White House is just.
Is anything coming out? I haven't seen anything out of that.
Yeah, we're going to have the War Productions Act to create, or to actually, apparently, not make, but to purchase solar panels from China. To import some of them, we're going to make some of them, of course. But what that misses is all the rare earth metals that go into the making of solar panels all come from China.
I don't get the whole solar panel.
What's the other thing? I thought several organizations represent several people. What do they call them? I can't remember the word.
What do they do?
They represent
lobbyists.
They represent the White House, but it's not the president. It's his.
It's like password.
I can't remember. Anyways, but these people that all speak for the White House or speak, are in the corner of the White House.
Yes.
They're trying to tell us how the economy is good.
Right.
Do you really ride in the back of the limo so much?
Have you not purchased
gas? Literally, the price of gas has gone up an entire dollar in like 60 days.
They don't talk about that.
No. No. What I hear, how they did really well on jobs. Well, if they're doing really well on jobs, how come the economy's shrinking? Like literally, the economy was expanding when the present guy took over, and now it's shrinking.
Something's going on. Something is going on.
It's just, but it's getting laughable, right? The stuff comes. Look, I am to the right. Okay, you can't know me long without knowing that there's no shortage of testosterone in my veins, and I lean to the right. Those are the two things you will know about Joe about 3 seconds in. I was not a fan of Jen Psaki, but I at least respected she was doing a tough job.
That's a very hard job,
right? And sounding somewhat intelligent. You could tell almost the look on her face when she was saying something she had to say, but she knew it wasn't quite going to track. But she'd say it, right? And she'd make it sound at least somewhat credible. I just, none of his spokespeople now are really seem that credible to me.
Well, nobody wants to say anything because he speaks, and they're like, "Don't say that."
No, he didn't mean that.
He didn't mean it that way. It's like, golly, this is where we're at.
No, he didn't mean he likes little girls. That's not what he meant.
Now, when he said something about attacking China, and the defense guy afterwards was like,
no, we ain't doing that.
No. He goes, apparently that's what he said, but no.
That's what he said. That's not what he meant.
It's like, oh my God, just stop talking.
What was the other one that's been glossed over? Well, people don't like paying gas prices. They should just buy an electric car. Oh, yeah.
I got 80,000 laying around for a Tesla.
Do me a favor. I get paid next week. You want to lend me $70,000 so I can get an electric car,
which still needs fuel,
right?
And when you're charging your electric car in your house that runs off of some sort of other fuel, you're still using fuel.
Right. It's still fuel.
That's
the thing that gets me is I heard somebody say something today about, greenhouse and get our emissions down. I'm like, are you kidding me? We're one of the lowest emissions, one, in the world, and two, American emissions are lower than they've ever been in history. Because of the market. Look, we got another break coming up. Go ahead, buddy.
We'll be back in just a little bit with some more talk on what the hell's going on.
More trash talk.
We know more about nothing that's going on than anybody else does.
Right.
We'll see you,
Howard Stern Light.
Soon.
Wait for the strippers. Not really.
No strippers today.
Market your brand and personalize your message. Brand Squad opens doors to new ideas, helping to grow your business with smarter marketing. Thousands of promotional items, thousands of ideas. Turn prospects into customers with Brand Squad's memorable promotional products. Simple marketing, effective results. We do the thinking, you do the winning. Brand Squad, on point with your promotional products.
Okay. 602 East Highway 50. Come on. All right, let's come back.
All right. We are back live, almost live, like Saturday night, but on Tuesday morning.
After doing a little bit of research. Before the break, we were talking about gas prices going up and stuff with the, how how it's depressing, right? It's coming out of not getting a lot of good news out of the White House, or it doesn't seem like that much of a plan. But I got to thinking, what are people doing? Right? I mean, one of the effects of this... Well, they're drinking. But, one of the things I remember about the crash, right? When the crash happened, we're talking 08, 09. I had a lot of friends that were in the lawn care business. And that became a business you had to work really hard at. Because one of the first things to go when people's money is getting tight is paying somebody else to mow your lawn. Especially if you have a little... Right? What are you going to do? You can pay somebody $75 a month, or you can go out and buy. Now you can buy an electric lawnmower that's really reliable, for what, $150?
I don't know.
Our neighbor had one that is moving.
I have.
Yay!
I have somebody cut my yard.
Well, I do too. But for a lot of people that are like tight, that's one of those things that when if you're spending. Yeah. You're expending an extra $500 a month in gasoline to get back and forth to work.
Sure.
You got to start looking at expenses. And I got to thinking, there's a local business, Easy Go Bikes. Like, I'm not an electric car guy, right? I'm just not going to be. I'll burn that fossil fuel all day long. I heard the Dodge...
I've never heard an electric car rumble.
No.
A Prius doing 150.
Well, somebody.
Did you hear that?
That's badass.
Apparently, Dodge Charger has an electric version, or they're coming out with an electric version.
God.
I mean, what's the point?
That defeats the purpose of that car.
A Charger
or a muscle car. Yeah. You want that roar, the roar of the lions.
Same way with a truck. They're talking about
a Harley,
an all electric Ram or ramped up.
Well, there's a Hummer now that's all electric.
But a Hummer was never really known for like that.
That rumble.
That rumble. But with a truck, you expect it. Like you step on it, and it sounds like you get that diesel. Brah!
Yeah, it's terrible.
Part of it is the experience. The other thing is the power, right? Is the power of an electric engine is not going to have the torque.
You
to
can't
pull.
tow anything.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Your fifth wheel? Your fifth wheel is about to get very small. It'll be like a U-Haul trailer that expands. It's
a
George
Barbie
Jetson.
It's a pop-up.
Yeah, it'll be like the Jetsons. You'll press a button, and it'll turn into a three-bedroom home.
No, I think people have to find alternate sources.
Well, and one of those alternate sources, I got to thinking, if I'd be very tempted myself. because I'm not going to go the whole electric car thing because I don't think it's very viable in the market today. But this place, what do we say? It's Ego Depot down in Claremont. Shout out to you.
Hey, Deborah.
They and actually, I got their info right in front of me, so we'll give them a shameless plug. Their address is, I was just looking at it.
I think they're over Winn-Dixie.
Yeah, they're on the Winn-Dixie, 604, here it is, 602 East Highway 50 in Claremont. Their phone number is 407-497-7004. So here's the thing, these guys sell these electric bikes.
Ken rode one, and he was in love.
It just occurred to me that, usually for years, I have not ridden. There was a short time I rode a bike to work. And the problem with riding a bike to work, and I was a waiter, was you get there and you're all sweaty, right? Because this is Florida, right?
Yeah.
But you step outside, it's 112. Step inside, you're covered in sweat. It's hard to work like
Yummy.
that. But I could see the e-bike being a different situation because I'm not having to pump it constantly. I'm not, it's not like I'm getting a cardio workout on my way to work. And that'll relieve some of the guilt. For people, it just occurred to me, if I had to go back and forth to work every day the same set distance, and it was a 5 or 10, that 5-10 minute drive in each direction starts to add up to a lot of gas.
Yes.
I think these guys are primed to have some banner sales if they market correctly. Come on down to Minuteman Press and Brand Squad. Go ahead, Lisa, do the click over so we can show it. This is shameless press. Plug. There's Brand Squad on point with all your promotional products.
Yeah.
But these guys are particularly, I think, positioned to really
capitalize on that.
Yeah, and I think it'd be a good solution for a lot of people. To save on. I'm very tempted to get one myself, man. If I had a garage, I probably would already have one.
Yeah, I mean, they start at reasonable prices, but then they can get up to $4,000, $5,000.
But if you were to, I'm assuming they offer financing.
Yes.
If you finance a $4,000 bike, it's a lot better than buying a car.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
but even if you drop the $4,000, imagine if you were saving $300 a month.
Sure.
If you're saving $300 a month on gas, you just paid for that thing in a year.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If you have the right type of job and it's convenient to get there and it's safe to get there, and it makes sense.
I'm thinking of getting one from Miss Pat. Because they actually come with, I actually had told her, I had said to her, if there was a function there to be able to carry something, because I'm not a backpack guy.
Well, they have a 3-wheel one too, that and then they have one that has a.
Well, that's what she said. She said even on they have
like a trailer.
They have attachments too.
Yes.
That even you don't need the whole trailer, but you can get an attachment right on the bike for a small amount of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
A couple of bags of groceries. Or, if you just got to run to the store or run an errand. And I thought, man, that's. Now, my question is, what's the rules about on the road? Are you on bicycle rules or motorcycle rules?
Because they only go so fast.
Right.
It's a bicycle.
It hauls butt, though.
Yeah.
As you know.
I think they'll go up to 30, I think. But 30 on a bike is fast.
Well, especially if you're only hitting the downtown area.
I think you can sidewalk them.
Yeah. Well, even
maybe downtown you could ride them because it's slow traffic.
And 50 has bike lanes.
Yes.
Right. So it's not like trying to pull your golf cart out onto 50. Right.
Yeah. No. You can take it in the bike lane. Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, you
don't need a license.
Yeah.
So.
You could go up and down if you're in the, let's say, from Hancock all the way out to 12th Street. If that was the range of your normal daily routine.
Sure.
you could save a little bit of money. And actually, I'm seriously considering it.
Right.
Because my question is the maintenance. What happens when it goes. When there's a problem, I can anticipate the cost of it. I was actually wondering.
I don't know what batteries cost.
Do you know who I think? And of course, we all know that I hope everybody realizes gas prices are going to continue to go up until something changes majorly in our government or in our market, right? I mean,
Looks that way.
There's no soon relief coming, at least any more than a couple of cents, right?
But my luck, I would buy a couple of those Egos, and then gas dropped down to 49 cents a gallon. Like, damn, got it on the tail end again, just like crypto.
Yeah. Oh, don't talk about crypto.
I always seem to get in at the tail end, Joe.
Did you keep your crypto under the mattress? Is that what
I
you
still
did?
have my
Is that the
crypto.
mistake?
My crypto just sucks.
Let me see where it's at today.
I can't even look at it.
I haven't checked it.
Now, I don't know a lot about crypto, but the way I understand it, all depends on what kind of crypto you're in.
It's all deteriorating. Bitcoin has crashed. Everything's crashed.
Yeah, it's still bad because Bitcoin is only at 29,000. Everything else kind of rides on the coattails of
Yeah, because Bitcoin went as high as like 60,000 or something.
Then everything was up, but it's at 29,000, which is horrible.
But I bought
$29,000.
Yes.
For one Bitcoin. We don't have a Bitcoin. You can own portions of Bitcoin, like percentages. You don't have to have like a full.
Nobody's seen one. Just like,
but we have like Cardano and Dogecoin.
Do you know what's really surprising me
Shiba.
is that locally I have not seen anybody. I mean, by locally I mean even in Orlando. I'm not aware of anybody that's taken the task to educating about Bitcoin. It's something you got to learn through like YouTube or online, or it just seems to me if it was that good an opportunity that there's got to be somebody making money on it.
Well, everybody made money before I got in, and that was that.
They have like
the thing is
crypto
that
specialists that you can follow.
Nothing,
they kind of tell you what to do.
But it's backed by nothing.
Right.
You know, it's like when you buy stock, it's backed by the company, the portfolio.
Well, it's only backed by use.
Right.
If they use it, then it's backed.
Right.
So
it's
one of those things that I actually told somebody probably 6 months ago. They're trying to get me to dive into Bitcoin, and I'm like, my problem is, it seems to me that Bitcoin is one of those things you had to get in. I'm going to accept that it's established. It's here.
Right.
But if you're going to make any real money, you had to get in when it was like $12.
Yeah, well, that's everything else.
When you were taking a risk on $5,000 and you made 100,
Well, it's because like multi-level marketing. That's what it is.
Right.
You got to get in on the ground floor. I never get in on the ground floor. Nobody talks to me first.
Well, we've lost maybe $2,000, but can you imagine if you bought in Bitcoin when it was 60,000 and now it's at 29? How bad you're hurting.
Well, you know what? If you had the money to spend 60, you're probably all right.
Well, like everything else, I'm sure it depends on. I'm sure it depends on what, on understanding what influences it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, and I've been screaming this.
Right now, it's the economy is shit.
So everybody's followed me, or anybody who's known me for a while to talk about real estate is, I am firmly of the opinion that prices are not going down. I keep hearing guys saying, "Oh, the market's going to crash." The economy is going to crash. It's not even crashing; it's just contracting. The stock market is contracting.
Mm-hmm.
It's not crashing. And giving people perspective, because you lived in the 25 greatest years economically of the United States,
sure,
doesn't mean when it's down, it's crashing. Crash was 2008 when we lost 40% of housing value.
Yes.
That's a crash. I think it was in the crash, 1928.
Yeah,
29. 28, 29, that crash was 20% of the stock market value. Think about that. 20% ruined fortunes.
Sure.
The one in the 80s was only a 6% correction. 6%. And we remember it as this awful thing. And the point is, I have people telling me that, and I'm like, you don't understand what's influencing the real estate market. Those things that never existed before, called technology. iBuyers, institutional investors, and the fact that builders have not built, and as the economy shrinks and people can buy less homes, they're not going to build more, they're going to build less.
Right.
which means that while it may look like a correction because prices aren't going up as fast, it doesn't mean that they're going down. And I'm just so, my point is, I'm sure Bitcoin much the same way. If I understood the stock market, I'd know what influences it up or down, and I know when to buy and when to sell and how to predict, right? I was laughing. Somebody said in proof of my theories, they were talking about how the Fed is going to raise rates, and that's the new modern thing. Every realtor in the world reads one article about the rates, and they're like, oh, this is going to hurt the market. Well, you've got to understand the climate. The Fed is raising rates, okay, and usually the Fed is in bed with administrations on the left, okay, as much as they say they're independent. I don't believe it 1 second. They say they're going to raise it, but when the economy shrinks to a certain point, the Fed's going to have to drop those interest rates back down. And that's going to keep then we're going to get more buyers back.
Well, it's just a manipulation of the economy. Yeah.
So if you're going to get anything like Bitcoin, you need to understand. I'm sure you do it with printing, right? Is you understand what influences paper.
I just want to know where the hell the paper is. I can't even get number 10 window envelopes. They don't exist anywhere right now.
Really?
A white number 10 with a little plastic window. I can't get them.
I told him to call some companies in Canada or
Calling
something.
all over the place.
Just to see.
Freaking envelope.
Maybe
Envelopes.
it's just our country.
So I believe something is going on that we're not being told. I think all of these crazy
and the baby formula
shortages
stuff.
of things
what?
Something's going on.
Yeah.
Something.
They're withholding weird things.
That's my
like
theory.
give me. I mean, I love a good conspiracy theory. Give me an idea. What do you mean, like an alien invasion? We need tinfoil hats, or like somebody's trying to manipulate our culture.
I think the markets are being manipulated. I think the culture is being manipulated by something else. Just because of everything that you see, baby food, formula shortage, paper shortage, this shortage, gas skyrocketing. They're saying,
are we paying?
What's really
paying
going
for a lot
on?
of things that we don't know about.
Yeah.
And they're up in the prices of everything.
I think I would agree with that, but I think again it's part of the struggle right now.
I think COVID was a problem. I mean, it, of course, it was a problem, but I think that many people that weren't working did. Companies shut down, and the government only helps so much. You can only get so much out of the government to help. So.
Well, as long as
What about the baby formulas? Is it made?
Hang on, I want to pick up on this. We're going to hear from the sponsors in a minute. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Okay, had to clear the throat there. That's special behind the scenes content right there, Joe.
Yeah, it's very, very popular.
I don't smoke anymore, so
write it down.
Do you know? For probably 10 years after I quit smoking, I literally had to hack something up every morning. I mean, it amazed me. The first year did not surprise me. The second year was not even shocking. By year 5, I was like, "Oh my God!"
Smoking's rough, man.
There's a certain level of what this does to you that you don't anticipate until you're going through it, right?
I agree. I have all these vices.
Yes, of course. My wife used to say it's because you're getting old. I'm like, well,
that's a good.
Treating my body like an amusement park ride for 25 years probably did not help.
No, it doesn't help at all.
But it was a good-looking amusement park ride. It was the one everybody wanted to be on. That's a whole nother subject.
That
will get cut out. That'll fit editing. That's right. If you're watching us live, that was special content just for you. So, all right, you ready?
Let's go back. We're back.
Okay.
We're back.
We're back. Love to hear from our sponsors. If you want to be one, reach out to us. You know how to get us. And I want to say, just as a shameless plug for the show, you got to understand who, when you sponsor us, you'd be getting. I mean, you're not just buying our interest. Ken and I really take this stuff personal. And if you become, I recommend Ken all all the time. And I'm sure, even though Ken is a realtor, he comes across situations that he thinks, maybe you should talk to Joe about this. All right. I'm pretty sure he's not interested at all in handling a rental.
I actually tried to throw a for sale for your way.
Which one?
It was the one next to your parents' house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to give the listing to you.
Oh, well.
But
they used somebody else.
no, I don't remember what happened. He didn't get back to me, and it took a little while to get back. I don't know what went on, but anyways,
it was a weird situation anyway.
But that was my first.
Anyways, the point is, we don't just do this. I talk about Lisa's business all the time. We're promoting each other's knowledge, but our knowledge and our lives. And if you really want somebody to become a partner with you in marketing, a partner with you in building your business, you need to come approach us about being a sponsor, because we do take that seriously. We don't play with it. I mean, I don't know. I keep most of my referrals in the South Lake Business Leaders too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it says, even though I don't get a lot out of that, it's not about that. It's the concept of, when I joined, I said I would do this. It doesn't matter what other people may or may not do. It's because I said I gave my word that when I joined this, I would try to keep most of my referrals within that realm. And I've referred several people for tens of thousands of dollars.
And we've made a lot of great friendships.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. A lot of great connections and friendships. And hopefully they'll help us change the reiteration of the show. Okay, what were we talking about before the break? Because there was a point I wanted to make before we got.
I don't know,
We're talking about baby formula.
Oh, baby formula, the conspiracy.
Yeah.
I have to agree, and I want to say this because a lot of people don't I think understand this correctly. This whole immigration thing. I'm for immigration, right? I think people come
except
here.
Florida.
Yeah.
There's enough of us here.
Well, bring your money. Don't bring your liberal ideas.
Florida is sinking. There's too many people here. Stay away.
But somebody pointed out to me that with the rate we're going now, that in 5 years, 20% of the American population will be undocumented, will be illegal immigrants. 20%.
See, that's a problem.
It is a problem because, and the thing that nobody talks about is the watering down of our culture. My dad was born here. I was thinking, but he was like, no, French here. You don't need to understand your old aunts and uncles that bad, because he wanted us to be fully, because he understood what being American meant. And he was from Quebec. He wasn't from some place, that was oppressed. He was, of course, my great grandfather came from Scotland in the 1800s. Wales and Scotland, and there were a lot of trouble there. A lot of poverty and stuff like that.
Trouble everywhere.
And so I don't think, and the thing nobody ever talks about is, they talk about the direct effects, but what they don't talk about is the watering down of our American culture, of the concept of exceptionalism, of the concept of innovation, of the concept of, it was in America that we said necessity is the mother of invention, right? It was in America that people rise up to move on to feed their families. Nowhere else in the world has a country had a history of blazing trails to make life better for their families and their future generations. And realistically,
that's why everybody comes here, Joe.
Right. We just celebrated D-Day the other day. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
We laid our blood and treasure on the line because we recognized what a danger Hitler and Nazism was. Without the American industrial machine brought to bear during World War II,
be a different world today.
It'd be a different world. You'd have, Germany would be a superpower. And I'll tell you, if Germany had developed that nuclear weapon first, nobody else would have, because you darn well know they would have bombed out of existence anybody that came close. It's that concept of, so I go back and forth between natural course of change, that there's an influence nobody saw, and somebody behind the scenes is trying to alleviate as bad as I love Men in Black. I always love the concept of there's always an Argillian battle cruiser in orbit, right?
Well, there just seems there's something else going on that nobody's discussing.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
He's got a.
Yeah.
There are people acting stupid that I don't think are that dumb.
I mean, it's just like the. Yes, we'll be getting in line for food soon.
Well,
just like they have done in Russia,
yeah,
and other oppressed countries.
Yeah,
something's got to change. But hey, there's some dark horse candidates in 2024. Look at us on the bill.
You'll never.
Oh no, Joe! Why waste time being senators? We're running, man.
I'd be like,
I know a printer.
Do you know what? Here's the thing. I would.
2024
That's a marketing campaign. Do you know?
Rose Carlisle, come at you.
I am dying to see. Give me one term. Just one term. We need a whole. There you go. Sorry about that, folks. Technical difficulties.
It's with our streaming sometimes.
You know what, Joe? We started talking about dark horse candidates. All of a sudden, the government passed down.
We went dark.
I guess maybe we shouldn't talk about the. Okay, there is no conspiracy. We don't really believe that. We'll just put our blinders on and just keep on moving forward.
Look, where's a couple of idiots just trying to get through life, man?
The other thing is I dropped the F word.
Yeah, but that's usually okay. Nobody really. I don't know.
Maybe they're connected now.
No.
Well, they are a national organization.
Evidently our viewership is bigger than we thought it was.
Right.
Woo!
That's right.
Sponsorships just went up in value.
Dude, I'm not afraid, but I would not be surprised if someday I was in my office and like government guys showed up and they were like, we saw, on a Tuesday at like 1.
We caught that show.
We caught your show. We need you to come with us.
Lock the doors.
Pierre, if I don't come back, I haven't disappeared. I've disappeared, but not because of me.
Well, on a positive note, do we have a positive note?
Yeah, we have.
Yes.
I want to tell a story. Okay. I was last week, had a rough day. I was really feeling down. And I was just one. Someday you just have that day that's crap. You just can't. You're trying to put everything together, and
that was yesterday.
Yeah, nobody's working with you. You just can't seem to click on. And I got home, and my lovely wife, brightened my day, because I sat down all frumpy with my glass of water. I'm like old now. I got to have flavored water. I can't even have soda or anything. And this woman put in front of me a plate of Nathan's hot dogs.
Oh!
And the smile literally exploded off my face. Had all my favorite toppings.
That sounds so good right
right
now.
Portion. And I looked over at her, and she didn't have a bun. I was like, "Aren't you gonna have one?" She's like, "I'm not having the bun, honey. I'm just having the hot dog. It's enough."
Cutting back on the carbs.
We're supposed to be taking a hot dog field trip with our friends.
A hot dog?
Remember,
Yes.
somewhere in Leesburg
Somewhere in
supposedly
Leesburg,
has.
yeah, is like a hot dog mecca.
Leesburg is a hot dog mecca?
Evidently.
No,
I
there's-
lived
there's
there for a
one-
long
There's
time.
supposed to be one place there that they
I
says
can't
to
remember
die
the name
for.
of it, but I would bet they have all beef Nathan's
I'll
there.
bet you they better have.
I bet you they
I
do.
bet
Yeah.
they do. Didn't we have Nathan's? We had Nathan's last week too.
Mhm.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
the same thing.
You know, I've
Love 'em.
got
Love
to
'em.
the place. I tell you that you know, partly because we started doing it here, but you know, I have Nathan's every week now, at least once.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm loving my Nathan's.
I love
had
firing
to-
up the grill with them.
Although my wife did have to like hold me accountable that as much as I love them, I probably should not eat 4 on a bun with all the toppings.
In one sitting, yeah,
In-
not
in
good,
one
Joe.
sitting,
Not
yeah,
good, Joe.
that's-
You wonder why your hip hurts.
You
4
know.
on one bun or 4 on 4 buns?
Do you know I wanted to go old school? Like, do you know when I was a kid, we didn't get buns,
Yeah, bread.
right? We had bread.
Yeah,
And
we
so-
went through that.
And it's
sometimes.
soggy and,
And my
mushy.
well, except my grandmother used to cut them in half,
Mhm.
right? And she would do them fried,
Oh,
so they weren't. You know,
yeah.
she would like.
Oh, yeah.
She'd make them crusty on the inside. Like she wouldn't even like cut them in half separate.
Yes.
She'd like cut them so they were still connected,
Oh.
and then you'd get 2 on a piece of
Mm.
bread. And she did so. She used to make her own bread too, so it wasn't like this
Yeah.
soft, yucky stuff we have today.
Right.
But man, she
Well, the
did
deli
that.
the deli bread would be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's thicker.
But she she used to get a lot of rye bread. Like rye bread, really, when rye bread back in the 60s and 70s was actually rye bread, you know. I funny, I go to the store and I get
Like-
rye bread and I
like
get home and
pastrami
it's
on
got
rye.
like 1 seed in an entire slice. I'm like, that's not rye
Well,
bread.
yeah, it gets stuck in your teeth as
You
you
know,
get older.
That's
so
one of
you're
the
like,
only types of bread I don't like.
You don't like rye?
No.
Well, yeah, but when you have a Reuben, you got to have a.
You gotta have a
rye.
good rye.
Or
Pumpernickel,
marble rye.
I'm a fan of pumpernickel, but again, the stuff you get in the store is not actually, it doesn't have the same
It's not the same.
flavor. If
It's
you
not
get
the
like
same.
real pumpernickel from a deli that's been made by either them or a local bakery, it's like it has
Made
this.
with the water in New York, like those,
That's
Oh,
correct.
like
yeah.
those bagels.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's got to have that. It has that special. It's not just the water. It has a texture because it's made right. Because it's not processed to survive in a bag for the
Right.
next
Yeah, no,
4
no,
months.
no. You
Yeah.
definitely gotta,
Got to get the good stuff.
eat
But
through it.
But you know, and actually, Pat, I was eating those hot dogs, and I got to thinking, you know what? I would bet you these Nathans would be great the way Grandma used to make them. I'll split some.
Mhm.
Of course, that takes a little bit of work.
Oh,
Right.
So good though.
And right now, I'm pulling in so much. A month ago, I was
I'm
afraid
getting
I was
hungry. I want Nathan's.
my plants, my tomato plants, and my cucumbers were not. I mean, they were sickly. I thought I was, and there's something wrong with them. I got to figure out. But I'm now bringing in so many. It's not even funny. I mean, it's like I'm eating like tomatoes, massive amounts of tomatoes and cucumbers every day. I gotta find. I found a recipe for freezer pickles that I think I'm going to use just to preserve them for a while. So my wife doing that "I told you so" thing, and she was like, "Oh yeah, you were afraid you weren't going to get any harvest this year. You telling me if we got 2 or 3 tomatoes, we'd be okay? Didn't I tell you you have 30 plants?"
Now you're cruising.
Now I'm cruising to the place where it's getting difficult to take care of.
Joe's
So
gonna have a farm stand soon.
I'm pretty grateful that I'm coming to the end of the life cycle of many of my plants because I'm ready to pull them off.
Right, that's the end.
You know, that's the end. We'll not plant 30 in September.
We don't plant
Now,
that.
if you ever want to bring fresh tomatoes, I'll take them to my mom and dad.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
They
I
love
will.
tomatoes,
I
so.
will. A problem I've run into cucumbers is some of them I didn't water enough and they get a little bit bitter.
Oh,
So like you can get rid of that bitterness by doing a couple of things. So I'm playing with a lot of experiments. Anyways, look, we're about to run out of time. We want to take time for our marketing minute, the shameless plug. And Lisa,
I'll
you
go first
have
today.
an amazing thing. I'm going to go to you first.
I do. Hey, everybody. Lisa with Brand Squad, as you know. You see behind me. So I had a service to work with. She's ordering tumblers too, but this was such a cool thing. She said she wanted beach towels. So I'll just show you what it looks
I'm going to hold that corner.
like. No,
it's gigantic.
it all shows. Yeah, we picked a cool beach scene on it and it has all of her information.
That's a great idea. I gotta say, I'm not really a fan of other realtors' marketing materials, but I have to say that's
But
kind
it's
of
cool,
genius.
right?
I like it. It's really
Outside of the box.
It's a 30 by 60 full color dye sublimated towel. It's one side is 100% cotton, the other side 100% microfiber, which you nailed. 40 of these were $23.39 a piece, and a one-time setup of $75.
Sounds like what's wrong with my hip. Dye sublimation. I got dye sublimation.
Dye sublimation on your hip there.
Yes, I have a dye sublimation. Go ahead, Ken.
Hey, Ken Rose with Minuteman Press right here in Claremont. We design, print, and promote you. As far as marketing, the important thing is to market. Marketing is everything, and everything is marketing. So you need to get your name out there, branded, whether you're doing promotional products or even printing products. You always should have something to hand a client that you meet. Always be prepared like a Cub Scout. You can come by Minuteman Press. We can design it for you. We can print it. We can mail it. Whatever you need to get your business broadcast out there, give us a call. 304 Mohawk.
Okay, Joe Carlisle with Remax Titanium. I am a plain vanilla realtor, and my friends hate it when I say that because I'm
Joe likes
anything but
all the
plain.
flavors.
But that means I specialize in personal residential real estate. Look, my marketing minute today is, when you use a realtor, there's a lot of people who use a realtor. Stop using your friend, your brother-in-law who's an amateur. Today's market is complex. If you try to sell a house or you're trying to buy a house and you're getting jacked, it's your realtor's fault. And frankly, if your realtor has been in the business about 12 seconds and does maybe 1 or 2 deals a year, that's on you. Ken is a part-time realtor.
Very part-time.
But only because he's so full-time in what he does. His passion is helping other businesses market their business. But Ken